questions, right?
Yeah.
And then just kind of magnify it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like for me, I'm going to start off kind of where we left off last week,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can roll into that because I think that's kind of what I wanted to do today. I really, what's interesting is I'm always running across people's videos or whatever it is, and like last week, we were discussing how when someone else is telling your story, they're not saying it correctly.
Right.
We were discussing how, and so that's the first problem. Okay, so what I mean is because that's why you have to see, to me, that social media is weaponized. Because taking information, and when someone is teaching information that's not accurate or not correct, that's what people are going to believe, right? So the majority is that information can really truly steer people wrong.
Well, it's funny. I can't remember the quote exactly. Now you're going to have to find it. It was a quote from Malcolm X. And he was talking about the control of media. And like the way that they control media can have you, rooting for the oppressor, right? Which is really kind of what it's designed to do. So, yeah, I mean, that's the problem with media is that, there's a lot of filters. I mean, one of the thing about the United States is that, it's not really set up for our best interest, just how they run the country. I mean, like how they proliferate information to us. I remember thinking back, right? Like this is something very, very simple, but back in the day when they had the food pyramids, right? And I can't remember how it went down, but it was like, what was on the bottom? It was like your cereals and however that pyramid was, right? Mm-hmm. It turns out that whole pyramid was completely wrong, right? It turns out and this was like from our government, right? Telling people, advising people on how to eat, like what to eat. Years later, we sit back and say, yeah, this was completely incorrect information, right? So it's kind of shocking, and like a lot of what we're taught in schools is really lacking in actual real information. We're not educated naturally here in the United States. We're given like Lauryn Hill. I remember probably remember the Fuji artist. Her album was titled "The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill."
Well, I mean, that goes way back to what you and I have been discussing and talking about for so long, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking at. So it's all about how you've been taught.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at that type of thing, it is going right back to what you and I have been discussing. And it has to go right back to, it's almost like an unlearning and relearning.
It is.
Right? That's exactly what it is. And so to be deprogrammed, I mean, I told someone, it's like almost trying to chip away at Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
Right? The mountain is so big.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it'll take forever to try to chip away at a paradigm that's been built over things over so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, right? And that's exactly, I was talking to someone about that just last week.
Yeah.
And I said, because of that issue, that's the reason why people are so strong on these paradigms.
Yeah.
That just don't change because they're like Mount St. Helens type of deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And it's so, and to try to chip away at that, right, it's almost next to impossible, especially when a person has had layers upon layers.
Oh yeah. I mean, and this is stuff that's like, this stuff is like, it's in your subconscious. Stuff that stuff that you don't even realize is there. So it's already difficult to fight that kind of programming, right? But when it's hitting you on levels that you're not even there's ways that you see the world that are influenced by media that we're not even conscious of, and sometimes we have to stop. I a lot of times stop and say, okay, this is how we see it, right? Like, and that's kind of almost in a vacuum. It's not relative to everybody else in the world.
Well, yeah, that's why I've been, you and I have been doing a lot of talking, but, and I teach these programs in our self-defense because I tell people you have to learn how to weaponize your mind for battle on a regular basis. Yeah. You have to weaponize your mind. You have to do that because things are coming at you on a regular basis, and this programming thing is so powerful. If you don't weaponize it, right, you're going to have issues trying to fight it, trying to defeat it, trying to overcome it.
Right.
Right. And so
Right.
our society right now has so much fear, right? And it's incredible.
I mean, if you really, I mean, like the psychology of where we live right now is an utterly insane place. Like Americans don't really think about it, but like the programming that we're subject to, like the division that we have is not normal, right? Like civilizations weren't built to be kind of how we're operating, where you have this much kind of division between your populace. Like it's a crazy thing that we're subject to here.
It is, and that's why I was again explaining to someone how persons have to weaponize their minds at a young age. And I give you an example.
Yeah.
Some of the most powerful and most unique Nasuts that went out to battle, their minds was weaponized.
Yeah.
These were weaponized kings.
Yeah.
Right? That went out, right? And we're talking about changing the tides of battle.
Right.
Right? That just changed history.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that that's the way that the ancient Kemetic people thought.
Yeah. Okay, I want to introduce an image because this is something I've gone back and forth with a couple people on. Why this stuff is so important. Like why like the messages you send to kids are so important. I don't know if you ever saw this program, but this came out, this is like late 70s, early 80s. This was called Rickety Rocket. Were you ever familiar with the show?
A little bit, yes.
To me, this is one of the prime examples of like socially programming people, because what you're doing is you're associating these kids with, even if you were to achieve, you are going to be in, this is your representation, right? Like you wouldn't see any other group of people in a ship that had big lips and was wood, and you know what I'm saying? It was just, it's completely unworthy of what the actual endeavor would be. And this is intentional. This isn't by accident that you show kids this message. What do you think? What do you think about how I'm interpreting this?
No, it's absolutely correct. But see, okay, so the teaching is that this is just how Black people should see themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Black people should see themselves as being the best.
Yes. Yeah.
As being people of excellence.
Right.
As being people, right, of this type of thinking, right, that we're up right where the genius levels, where the creators are, where the scientists are, where the scholars are.
Right.
Okay, this is the mentality of Black people.
Yeah.
Okay. Throughout history. This right here is a very low level of thinking.
Yeah. It expresses that. Yes.
Okay. And this represents, if you see this, it's almost like you're not of excellence. You're not of scientific creativity.
Right.
You're not of this level. You're more like a lower level of thinking.
Right.
Right. And it's a programming that you're not even on that level.
Right.
You're not even right.
Yes.
It's a completely different type.
Yes.
I would have to say of a paradigm shift of thinking.
Yes.
Because as far as that is concerned, to me, that's not very professional. That's not people who are intelligent.
Right.
Not people who are right. To me, that's a poor way of teaching someone.
Yeah, you're teaching them something. You're teaching accepting, like you said, a lower status, right? Like that's going to be their version of it, and it's going to be nice. We're going to have our version, right? Separate but not equal. Again, like a societal thing, and this is how they represent it. And I always thought that imagery is so very dangerous, especially young kids, because that starts to formulate like your ideas about social constructs.
Well, of course,
yeah.
And this is why when I see that, okay, that is far from something like the Black Panther.
Right. Right.
That is right. Okay,
right.
You see that as a completely different. Okay, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone like Memnon.
Right.
Okay, this is a completely different.
Right. Right. Thank you.
A huge person that changed history, like Boss Reeves, right? Of Oklahoma. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Completely different type of thinking. This is a whole. It's not even. This is not us.
Yeah, it's not us. It's not
Okay,
us.
okay, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. When you see that, you know, no, but as a kid, you thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's when you're most vulnerable.
Of
That's when
course,
it's more, you know what I'm saying? That's actually when it's most
yeah.
impactful, right? Because if
You
you
see,
just subconsciously start, like you said, like, you know, we've been doing a lot of talking about, like, you know, talking about AI. We've been talking about, like, the human consciousness. And a lot of what you've been breaking down in terms of the Medinetra is about consciousness, right?
100%. I'm
And
sorry, I didn't step away
yeah,
from this.
well,
That,
and that ties into how our brain, like our brain, whatever our consciousness is, our brains interpret things a certain way. You have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious, and your subconscious is very dangerous because it doesn't filter out things the way that your conscious brain does. So your subconscious allows other ideas to get into your head that you might not otherwise have allowed. And especially if you mask it with something like cartoon images. You think this is harmless, but it's actually a very significant message.
well, it's subliminal.
Yeah, subliminal,
Okay,
which was
yeah,
rampant in this country for a long time. Subliminal messaging was so rampant they had to stop. They had to pass legislation to make them stop doing it.
of course,
Yeah.
because that's how you're able to get people to do things. I mean, this is a powerful image of what we should be looking like.
See, and that casts a whole different
Okay,
that casts a whole different thing, right?
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, this,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See, you see something like that, that is of excellence.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
Right.
of high moral character.
Right.
Okay, let me just share something with you about the power of subliminal messaging.
Yes, please do.
Okay, when I was a kid, okay, I was taken to a movie to see Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
After I saw that movie, do you know I had nightmares for about a week?
Oh,
I could
yeah.
not even believe, right?
Yeah.
The movie, right,
Yeah.
was long over.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay, thank you. But the subliminal messaging was so
Yeah,
powerful; it lasted
was.
for days.
Yeah, it
right?
was. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole idea behind that, dude, was so strong.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that right there is one example,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
of the power of subliminal messaging.
Right.
Okay. Another side of it is when I was about 11 or 12 years old, right, I went down to the theater and saw all the Bruce Lee films.
Right.
That type of thinking, but was a programming
Mm-hmm.
that lasted throughout a kid's childhood. All the kids want to see Bruce Lee,
Right.
right? But but the idea of that type of programming, that type of message, that type, people don't see the behind thing,
Right.
right? And so what I'm saying is, it all depends on the type of messages that they're sending.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's very
Okay,
it's very important.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The sounds of a horror movie like that was, dude, I'm telling you,
Oh yeah.
I could not even sleep at night.
Right.
I wanted to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn the lights off. Couldn't sleep in the dark.
Yeah.
That type of programming is how powerful something is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it is because good filmmakers understand things like that. They
Yes.
understand how to take you emotionally through a ride and pull the ones who were good at it, right? How the ones who understand story structure are excellent at doing that. And you're right. That film was terrifying the way it was presented.
Oh man, it lasted, man. I'm telling you, I didn't want to see that movie after that for a long time.
Yeah. No, I had to watch it in the daytime the first time I saw it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't watch
So
it.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. See,
Yeah.
this is why you have to. I mentioned again. I said this a couple times.
Yeah.
But a person has to understand. You know, we teach this in our classes about how to weaponize your mind. You have to learn to adapt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. To all different types of psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're dealing with.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. In psychological warfare, I'm telling you, it has turned the tides of battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Even in the ancient times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is what made, Menkaure Tahutimus so powerful.
Right.
He deployed psychological warfare to where his enemies, ended up, submitting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how powerful something is. And think about Hannibal.
Mm-hmm.
Think about some of these other people who have done psychological warfare on the battlefield that has turned the tides of battle,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because of that very reason. Something so terrifying, you don't even want to fight it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's okay. I just wanted to guys, just kind of go there for a moment.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to touch on it, and just as we were talking about it, just talking about psychology, culture, images. You and I are always talking about like images, what you
No, very
see,
important.
and it's always very important. I wanted to get into this too because this is one of the few comments that during the week it actually caught my attention.
Okay.
And this was a guy. He had come in, and it was on a video. I talk about like ancient Sumerians, right? And the ancient Sumerians being a black culture, the founding of that civilization.
Okay.
And this guy was asking me as to why, right? And there's some things math wise that we need to put together to kind of bring that story in. You and I have talked about geography. So the area where we talk about Mesopotamia, we're talking about the Middle East, is what they call the Middle East now. I thought it was important to show like this is Africa. You can see this dark area here. This is where the first humans actually developed, right? Right here in this region of Africa. If you look here, there's a strait that divides the African mainland with this sublet here, this peninsula that is the Middle East, and there's actually a landmass along that route as well. If remember that this is the Nile Valley right here. This is where you started civilizations, crested around water. It was very important, which is why all your civilizations in the beginning are based on river systems, because it was ample water, which meant fertile land, water resources, animals, all that stuff. So these people literally founded this. They walked through here. This is where you would have established Mesopotamia and Sumeria, those other civilizations. The thing that I thought was important is that when we put stuff in timelines, a couple of things here I wanted to bring up. Okay. This one here, okay. So we know that the first, like this is kind of like the first modern humans were all dark skinned, right? Because of the area of the world that they developed in was here, right? As people spread out into the world from Africa, they started to develop different, evolve different traits, or different traits became dominant because they lived closer or farther away from the sun and heat and cold and conditions like that to eventually get to how humans look now. But the first humans, especially in this area, were all dark-skinned Africans. So when we talk about how do we know about ancient Sumerian cultures, first of all, it's disputable that this should be called the Middle East. There's not a reason. This is a continuous landmass as a continent. Why is this portion here broken off from Africa?
You asking me a question?
Well, I'm asking you that question. Why would that not be included when we have discussions about Africa?
Well, okay. So there's a couple of things, and we can discuss this more as we are going along telling the story. But first of all, we had to look at a couple of things. I mean, has anybody seen the Sanskrit, the writings? Has anybody paid attention to the melanated people there who actually populated all the areas of Sumer? Has anybody ever talked about this? Because I wasn't really planning on going into this, but the whole aspect of the people there in Sumer were truly Africans, without any question.
Right.
Okay, so why did they call the Middle East? Well, the Middle East name was changed in the early 1800s. Okay, so that's not very long. That's only been a few hundred years since that's changed. Okay, and the reason why they wanted to change that is because they wanted to start to geographically set things apart, what they call Africa.
Right.
So Sumer is actually Africa.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so that's what people don't understand. So all these different like for an example, not the Nile River, but what we're talking about is other areas of bodies of water.
Yes.
Okay. So, we can talk about when they talked about the river Euphrates, they talked about some of these other rivers, but the idea is everything was kind of separated from bodies of water. But that's how people were able to define things.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that these areas, all that we call Sumer country, are purely all Africans, just like the people who migrated over to an area now we call Asia.
Thank you.
All Africans.
Right.
Okay. There's some people who migrated to those areas. So I'm not sure why this person has this problem, but this is all proven already historically and and you look at the anthropology and genetics,
Mm-hmm.
it clearly tells you that these people who migrated to these lands were Africans.
Right. Right. Well, I think it's like it's another part of the argument we were just having, a discussion we were having about like media, like what you put out. Right. You won't put out something that is factual, easy to verify, but you'll put out images of, because this is excellence right here. Right.
Yes.
This is your earliest civilizations. The civilizations that you still talk about to this day, the people who wrote the first laws, this is where they came from. So that message of excellence is written in that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I talked about a few, Thursdays ago on how the Ethiopian Ocean was changed to the Atlantic Ocean.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So what am I saying? So when people start changing names, they start educating it from that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we know the Atlantic slave trade was based all on the Ethiopian, right? Based on West Africa. So we know that part.
Yes.
Right? And you and I have talked also about how mythology stories came out of that.
Right.
Okay. So this is kind of what I mean. When you are controlling information, that's how people educate based on changed information.
Right.
So you have not learned the true stories about Africans only because you've been educated but taught a different way. I didn't learn this. I've been to school and college, right?
Right.
You still don't learn these things, right?
Right.
I talk to people who are studying a major in history.
Mm-hmm.
If you're studying a major in history, for an example, I'll give this to you real shortly. I spoke to a lady at a jewelry store, and she was saying she was getting her history major. And she said, I said, where are you right now? She said, oh, I'm taking one of my prerequisites in the Trojan War.
Right.
I said, really? I said, you talk about the story, of the Odyssey. You're talking about Odysseus. Yeah. You're talking about the Iliad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about Memnon?
Never heard of Memnon.
Never heard of Memnon. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, you see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I said, you ever heard of the book of the Ethiopians?
Yeah.
Never heard of the Ethiopians.
Yeah.
But Memnon is the foundation of Western literature.
Right.
But they cut that part. You see, that's how people are educated.
Yeah.
Are taught.
Yeah.
So that's not excellence.
Yeah.
But when you bring out the story of Memnon, then we're talking about excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is cut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about some of these stories and how the names of Greek mythology have changed because of those very reasons.
Right.
Same situation.
Right.
You take out nature and everything else becomes man-made and barbaric.
Right.
So that's another example of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to bring the side of that. I mean, that kind of directly goes at what this gentleman's question, like, how do you know? Like, history shows us exactly who was in that area at what periods of time. I mean, so it's very easy, and it's not such a big deal. If we accept that this is kind of how the first humans were, if these are the first humans, that meant that the first civilizations also came from the same people. It's not a big deal. It doesn't diminish anybody else's accomplishments or what it meant. It just meant that this is who your ancestors were. Well, right? Like, where you come from.
Yeah, but Sumer, man, like you're talking about Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, that place over there was founded, man, by Nimrod.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, Nimrod is an African.
Yeah.
Okay, his father, that's Kush.
Mm-hmm.
That's African people.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me going on this one.
Yeah. No, that's a good time. But that again, you draw it back. Like, that's the history of it. That's the back part of it.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, it's like, hey, Memnon's mother, she's Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Wow. You see what I mean? So, but how can Memnon be black? Mm-hmm. I mean, this story goes back generations, but even some of the greatest Greek writers and scholars say he's Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is some of the most famous people that, of course, we are still studying and going in foundation wise, mm-hmm. teaching from that same type of philosophy.
Right.
Okay. I mean, so to say otherwise, it's almost like you want to cut that part out, take that part out.
It is like that. It is very much like that.
That's what that is.
Yeah. All right. Let me bring up the next one here. I have an interesting. This is something I think you're gonna like here. I got something good. Okay.
Oh, why'd you get me going on that one? You tried. You got.
I know. Okay, let me get the name right on this. Okay. This is a Obe-Yofo. It is
Okay.
a vampiric-like, witch-like creature that comes from West African mythology, specifically the folklore of the Ashanti. Right? It
Okay.
said it was a very common creature who would inhabit the bodies of any man or woman, and if they were obsessed with food, they typically hunted at night, and they could emit a phosphorescent light from their armpits and their anus. And it's
Okay.
very similar to a creature called the Asiman of Dahomey belief systems, who would shapeshift, fly, and turn itself into light when it was out hunting prey. I know that you love vampires, so I saw a vampire creature, and I thought I'd introduce it into our mythology.
Yeah. Again, it's another one to share,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
With our vampire pantheon, I want to call it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
'cause there's a whole
Yeah,
bunch of them. So,
there's a
but
whole
this
bunch of
one
them.
truly, yeah, this one is interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, because we don't really, as like, we never really acknowledged that there was a lot of African myth around vampires.
Yeah. Well, the truth of the matter is, we're the first ones who started it.
We started vampire stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the vampire belief system began to spread, but we are the oldest
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
of understanding vampirism.
Yeah.
I know this is hard for us to understand, but because but because right, we think it's that someone else because again the media has portrayed that
Right.
it's not.
Right. Yeah.
The movies has taught no, it can't be true. But when you get away from all of that
Mm-hmm.
and you start to write symptomatic thinking, I talked to you earlier about that in our earlier programs.
Right.
Okay, yeah, okay, symptomatic thinking, and you have symbolic thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, symbolic thinking is movies.
Right.
Symptomatic thinking is study.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's research,
Yeah.
study,
Yeah.
being taught.
Yeah.
Okay, so if your symptomatic thinking is not explaining a symbolic meaning, then that's where you're going to be misled.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So in a case like I just mentioned,
No, I was gonna say Akil in the comments mentioned Akasha when we started back on vampires.
Yes.
And that's a part of what you're talking about there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're not explaining symptomatic thinking,
Yeah.
all you're seeing is symbolism.
Yeah, that's right.
So when somebody puts something in a movie, it's like, oh, that must be, this must be the way it is. Like that cartoon you just showed in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
That's all symbolism.
Right.
That's right? It's to explain a thing, but we don't understand what the meaning of it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
But to us, as a kid, that looks cool.
Yeah. I look, man. Mum Ra.
Okay.
Mum Ra was an ill one, man.
Okay.
You're right because of that, right?
But it's true. It's true symptomatic thinking. I was talking to my student about that, and I had to explain to her symptomatic thinking.
Yeah.
We have to process something and bring these symptoms, these things that show evidence of something.
Yeah.
Okay, that is to help you through knowledge. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I told her until you understand that part, people can say anything.
Yeah.
Right, and then here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you say, oh, that must be exactly what it is because they must have founded empires. They must have founded werewolves.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
yeah. I mean, you talk about your boy. What's it? Whipperwet?
Whipperhead.
Whipperhead. Yes.
Okay, yeah, Whipperhead is called the opener of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the one that opened up the way of the Nasriti.
Yeah.
Okay, and out of that comes the city of Lycopolis.
Right.
The city of wolves.
The city of wolves. Lycopolis.
Okay, so okay. See, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
This is these areas of knowledge where people don't understand where this stuff comes from, but
Right.
it all has a basis. But symptomatically, you need to understand. I'm not saying the Europeans have created things. I'm not saying that.
Right. Yeah. Of course not.
But you need to understand that history to be able to verify that through
Yeah.
this symbolism.
Yeah. The black people, like these Africans, we're talking of hundreds of thousands of years on the earth before any other people started to develop.
We'll be the
That's
oldest
how
people.
far they are by
Yeah.
far the oldest people on the planet.
Oh yeah.
Right, by far. Like some of the traits that we associate with other people are 7,000 years old, 10,000 years old. African, these traits, this look, 200,000, 300,000 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
that's even
just.
debatable. There's people who would say a lot older than that.
We're the first people on this planet.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay. So I
it's an
mean,
interesting thing. Yeah.
I just had to. Okay. So I wanted to really put this out because we really need to understand why we have not been taught the right way as we should have.
Right.
And when someone says something to us, we think that's exactly what something is. And then all of a sudden, when you learn otherwise, you go, I was taught like this as a kid and nobody ever told me this.
Yeah.
So and now you have you think it's a truth to you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, it does become your other belief systems become founded off of this.
Well, I mean, I thought it was the Atlantic Ocean. I thought it was always that way.
Yeah.
Until I found out otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then and then you go, well, okay, so now you're telling me now that that's not true.
Yeah. I mean,
So
knowledge is
like,
powerful stuff, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, but do you see how important symbolism is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let me see. So if I can get started here, maybe I can find what I'm talking about here. So let me see if I can. Okay? So who was the first vampire then?
Oh man, I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because there's a lot of representations. If we go back to the Sumerians, it's still Akasha, right? We're saying is the first vampire.
Okay, so but remember I said before now, if we understood or truly knew history, it would be a shocking thing for us to find out otherwise. So do me a favor. Do you have a picture of let me see if I can find her here, but maybe it's not working out. Give me let me segment.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because when I need something to come, it won't. I don't know why. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So before I get started.
Yeah.
All right, so the power of the nature.
Yes.
Okay. We had talked about some things today, but Sekhmet is by far the oldest vampire there is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the story about how when it comes to blood sucking.
That's right.
Okay. And when it comes to this, now remember now, this is the oldest story. This is a story that was even before Akasha.
Yeah. This
is the story. Okay. Yeah. So Sekhmet is the oldest vampire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even Europeans say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You see what I mean? Okay. So
you see her
this is
mouth
by
there.
far the oldest vampire.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She went to a bloodlust.
He went. That's exactly what happened. But that story, and we know is explained in what is explained
in the Medineche.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's right.
I got that picture up there again.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me pull this one down real quick.
Okay, I know I had to rock with this today.
Yeah.
This is the oldest story. Okay.
Yeah.
But but that story about her being a vampire is explained in the nature.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me put it up here. Where'd you go? Yeah, there it is. Written on the
Okay, there
walls.
we go.
Written on the
It's
walls.
thank you. It's explained
Yeah.
in the lecture.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, I'm really going to put some things up here today because I really want people to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do you mind if is it okay if I kind of explain some things? And
Yeah,
then I
absolutely.
don't want to say it's
Yeah.
a disrespectful thing, but no, okay, okay, maybe it's not good for me to put it up there. But the Medu Neter has writings on the wall that clearly explain sex.
Okay.
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 It's very, very vivid. People are talking about, to us, that would look like it would be pornography.
Right.
But we were very descriptive in behavior. This is written in the Medu Neter.
Yeah.
Okay. But I was going to put it up there today, but it's not displaying the way I want to. So what I'm going to probably have to do is get another image for I'll be able to share. Okay, because I'm trying to. It is not allowing me to do this for some reason today. I'm trying to give you some images that need to be seen. It's not working. But anyways, I wanted to share some descriptiveness. Now, we talked about the Nusubiti last time, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to start with that because that's what's working right now. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here, but this is a very important thing that's going on right here. Yes. Okay. So we talked about this last week. I just want to just get this out and get it clear on what we're looking at. This is a sedge plant.
Sedge plant.
The sedge plant, yes. The sedge plant is what's in the Nusubiti's name.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's in the Nusubiti's name. So this is, okay, so I want you to clearly see what I'm talking about and how interesting it is once you see what I'm talking about as far as the imagery is concerned. But that is the plant that has grown up south. Okay. Okay. And so you're looking at a plant like that and you say, well, what is this about? It's explaining who he is. That plant is, I put another image up there for you, is to show you who he is in his name. And it's actually in the Medu Neter explaining him, the sedge plant, and then you have the bee. Okay. So you pull those things up, and I know I only have a short time to talk about that today. The bee here is explaining the north. Okay. So this means that sedge plant is saying from the south. The bee is saying from the north. Okay. It is saying Nusubiti, which means dual. The dual king of the north and the south. Yeah. Okay. So that plant I just showed you is the sedge plant or the Sawit plant. Okay, which actually is talking about a plant that grows up south. Okay. That's a plant that you can eat. You can eat that plant. It's called the papyrus sedge. Yes, okay. Named for paper. Yeah. The oldest scrolls have been written on sedge paper. That's right. The sedge of the Nusubiti that you see on this inscription right here. Right. Okay. I wanted to make sure I got this out for the audience. I know I didn't get a chance to talk about this last week. Yeah. So I want to get this cleared up so we can be able to talk about this a little bit for the show. So what's happening is that every time you see an inscription of a Nasut, it could be, Ursa Ma'atra, Jehutimus, it could be any Nusubiti of the talk about it, and they'll have that inscription. Yeah. Okay, because they're talking about the papyrus or the papyri sedge plant of the south. Yeah, okay. Then you're talking about the bee from the north. Now, here's the most interesting thing. A lot of people say that's a honeybee. A lot of people say correct. There you go. So that's the bee from the north. Yeah, okay. The sedge plant right there. To the right of it is a sedge plant. Yes. So you can see both those symbols. If you see where the arrow is, that's both the symbols he's talking about there. Correct. Yeah. The sedge is talking about the south, up south. The south is where you get it right now. The papyrus plant or the sedge plant from the south right now is very rare to find now. Yeah. Very rare to find. But the paper that they wrote on, okay, because it grew a lot along the Nile from up south.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. So remember when I explained to you how south is up?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what's going on here. And this is talking about this plant, the sedge plant or the suet plant
Okay.
from the south.
Okay.
Okay. Why is that so important? Because they realize that this plant is the most expensive
Mm-hmm.
and most sought after plant of the South.
Right.
Okay. You can make clothes with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can write with it. You
Mm-hmm.
can eat it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very valuable
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah.
Okay. And they understood that that's exactly what it means to have wealth. You know, when you're looking at like roses, when
Right.
we buy roses,
Right. Right.
right? And how
Yeah.
what roses symbolizes,
Yeah.
right? And how important something is as far as the value of it is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
right? This plant is twice that and then some.
Right.
It's
Okay.
twice that because
Okay.
right because you can do a lot with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a commerce plant.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it explains it from the south.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very important to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to share today to get that out, to let people know what you're looking at.
Yeah. No, that's very important right there. That's
okay,
cool.
yeah. So that's what I wanted people to see and
Yeah.
get that cleared up, because what's happening is that's in every Nusubiti's name.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay. You see that inscription that's talking about the plant and the bee. Now, a lot of times people say that's a honeybee. I can tell you right now, I am not sure about that,
Mm-hmm.
because I just showed you a picture of a honeybee.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me grab it here. Where you at, honeybee?
Okay, so most people say they're honeybees. I'm still kind of open to that because I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it represents more of the wasp nature, not the honeybee nature.
Right.
Because remember, I mentioned again, the plant comes from up south.
Right.
If the honeybee comes from the
Mm-hmm.
north,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then they would be of a different type of shape. I'm looking at, this is a honeybee.
Right.
Okay, you see the shape is very different.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where my question is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that question is saying, is that a bee or not?
Yeah.
I gave you a picture of a wasp just now. Okay, so if you look at the wasp and you look at the bee and you see the inscription of the Medunetter, to me it's very different.
Yeah. See if I can zoom in on this more.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
bee
to
there.
me that's telling me a little bit more. Yeah, see.
So you can
Now then,
see.
if
Okay,
you're looking
where's
at
my-
an inscription, all of them, or most of all of them, have the stinger sticking out.
Yeah.
Honeybees don't have their stinger sticking out.
Yeah. 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 I see what you're saying there. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is just one inscription, but to me the wings are different. See how long?
Yeah. You can see this right here where my
Mhm.
arrow is right there.
Yeah, see how
That's a
long
wasp,
that is?
man. That's no honeybee right there.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Okay, this is just me, but
Yeah.
looking at the Medunetter and reading it, okay, from the north, wasps were very, very prevalent. Okay, but more than honeybees were. I mean, they did exist, but honeybees I told you, are carnivores.
Yeah. that's
So
right.
I'm looking at an inscription and I'm seeing a wasp, and I'm going, this doesn't look like a honeybee to me.
And could real quick, okay, name the plant again. Someone in the chat is asking to name the name of that plant again.
Okay, so it's the sedge plant. Okay, it's a sedge plant.
Sedge
Yes.
plant. Do you know how to spell that?
Yeah.
Sedge plant. Just
Yes,
like it says?
SEDGE.
Okay.
Sedge
Okay.
plant. So yeah, we call it the Swit, SWT plant.
Okay.
The Swit plant, but it's actually called the sedge plant.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that is the plant that grew
Mhm.
up south. Okay. So that's kind of what's going on right now in the Medunetter. That's what you're looking at right now.
So okay, so in this case, this plant represents the north, right, or the south, right?
Yes.
And are you saying that the wasp represent
The north, the other
north?
side.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you're saying I am the Nasubeti, I'm the dual king of the north and the south.
Right. I got both logos.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and then you see both of them have the loaf of bread at the bottom.
Yeah, the loaf of bread is right there.
Right. You have
Yeah.
the loaf of bread here at the bottom.
Yeah.
So again, this is one of those things where most of the inscriptions
Uh-huh.
show more of wasp-like nature. It doesn't show honeybee nature.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. The nature. I'm not saying they don't have honeybees. They do have some honeybees in inscriptions.
Yeah.
They do have it in the next one I'm referring to. They do have honeybees, but in the Masut name,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to me, I'm just, right now, I see more of the wasp nature instead of the honeybee nature.
Yeah, that definitely looks more wasp to me.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
more wasp-like to me.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, the Nusu Biti has 5 different names.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're just talking about one of the 5 names. Okay,
Right. Right.
But, all right. So but I want people to see that clearly that you're looking at a plant and you're looking at the wasp there.
Okay.
So anytime you see Nusu Biti,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're looking at.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
That's a good one.
this is in the Medunetra to help people understand. When you're starting to break things down this way, it's going to help you as a general whole to see why nature is so important.
Right. Right.
Okay, maybe I can put this over this word. All right, here we go. So this is the sedge plant. I was able to do that. That's good. So this sedge plant is the one that I'm talking about. Very important. See that?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a represent or an example of a species of that. Now remember now, in certain areas they grow more than others. There's over 5,000, there's over 5,500 different types of species of this type of plant.
Okay.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Okay, but from the Nile Valley aspect of the papyrus sedge plant, it's only very little because remember with the floodplains, that's how it grew.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to explain it as a totality for today.
Yeah, that was a really good breakdown there.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to share.
Yeah, that was a lot of context to that.
Yeah. So that's kind of what that's all about. So I just kind of wanted to break that down today.
Yeah.
To share. Also, I'll be talking about what Seba means, my name, in the Medunetra.
Yeah.
And Seba, and then you got Sebatawi. Okay, these different types of names. Okay, Sebayat. Sebayat means instruction or teaching into the dimension.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another name that needs to be explained. So I will, let me just put an inscription up here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So that's the inscription in the dimension.
Let me grab it here. Almost.
So I will be talking about that next week. I know we're kind of almost out of time, but I want to bring that up today because that's what I wanted to share about the importance of Seba and then Sebatawi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hang on. Is this the one you just sent me?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
No, not that one.
Hang on. Where's the one you just sent me at? Oh, here we go. Right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay, very good. So that name is called that is the Sebayat.
Sebayat. Okay.
Sebayat literally means instructions or teaching.
Okay.
So you're talking about the Sebayat. Sebayat is one of the last forms of it is in the Medunetra or in the Coptic language. The Coptic is the last form of the Medunetra, but they're writing it in this form to help people to understand what the Sebayat is. Now, of course, these are all singulars, biliterals, and triliterals to explain what the name this name means.
Right.
Okay. So yeah. So it's breaking it down. I'm saying to you that next time we'll talk about this. I wanted people to see it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Not is instruction, teaching. Okay. This is what a saber would do in another place I just sent you, and I just put it up there in the chat. Do we have a few more minutes to talk about this? I guess.
Yeah, we got something else I want to talk about too. So.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, we
Yeah.
got to put the verses up there. That's right.
Yeah,
And put the verses.
you know we don't go nowhere without the verses first, man.
So see, I Sibayat. So that's what that is. So I'll explain this. There you go.
Okay.
This is very important.
Yeah.
Okay. So put it down just a little bit for me, please.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit before. Yep. Up under. Yep. Like lower it down a little bit.
Oh, down here.
Yeah. Right. So you bring it down. So bring the other one on the side there. So we can see both.
You want to keep both of them? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Sibayat, okay, is taught, and this right here is called the Per-Unk.
Okay.
Per-Unk literally means the school of, or the place of where the Sibayat is taught.
Yeah.
Okay, so this we know as the Unk, but that little square that you're seeing, that literally means school or place of or instruction of. So all this instruction, and teaching and wisdom and knowledge, this is the place of Shahuti.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, but you see the drawing. Next time I'll show some pictures of buildings.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but this is the Sibayat. Sibayat is taught in the place of the Per-Unk.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a very important thing for people to understand.
Yeah.
Seba are people who teach instruction of Sibayat in the Per-Unk.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is what you're looking at. So I wanted people to see the power of the myth we mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And so that's what I wanted to bring out today. I'll talk more about it. I'll show some pictures next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get this out today.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, that will be for the next show. So I had a couple of things I want to get to in the versus world.
Okay.
And I gotta introduce a new character, man, because I don't know if you're up on this guy. And I just got up on this guy right here myself, man. This is the Red Lion. Okay?
The Red Lion.
The Red Lion. Now, this is a DC Universe character, okay? And he's strikingly similar to T'Challa. He is the head of an African nation, except he is the president, all right? He wears a suit that's not made of vibranium, but it's made of promethium metal, okay? And he has these claws, obviously, like T'Challa. Not a lot of backstory on this guy, but this is a character they introduced as a president of an East African nation who wears that suit. What does that strike you as there?
This strikes me as a DC version of Sabretooth.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Kind of a little bit.
Yeah, like with the main, yeah.
But I would like to see him go up against someone like Craven.
Yeah.
Or Sabretooth or Wolverine.
Yeah. He look. Now the suit is a version of it's Deathstroke's old suit is what it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's Deathstroke's old suit.
Okay.
So it's got that power. So he gets the increased strength, right? He gets the weaponry. He's obviously highly skilled and trained as a fighter. So he probably is a good matchup for like Sabretooth. You know, I mean, I don't know if this promethium metal, I don't know what it holds up to. I think it's the same stuff that Cyborg is supposed to be made out of.
Okay, Cyborg. Okay. See, I'm trying to see because I don't know much about him. So
yeah, I just introduced him today. I just got up on him today myself.
But is he? To me, he looks more like is he an anti-hero?
He's a straight up villain.
Oh, he's a villain. Well,
yeah, he's a straight up villain.
So he's already a bad dude.
Yeah, so he's way on the other side of T'Challa. Because I kind of saw him as like a Black Panther kind of ripoff. I mean, he's kind of the same thing as Black Panther.
No, he ain't gonna match up. He ain't gonna match up against that.
Yeah. No, he's not messing with T'Challa, but I think they developed him as a counter to T'Challa.
Well, no. Well, see, here's the thing, though. Does he have his ancestors backing? No. My aunt says no. Let him go.
Yeah.
My aunt says no. Leave him to set. Leave him to.
Yeah. I did a versus with him and Killmonger.
I'm going to still go Killmonger.
Yeah, I love Killmonger, man. That's my dude.
Yeah, Killmonger, man. But see, here's the thing, though. Killmonger is a SEAL.
Yeah. Killmonger is a SEAL. Yeah.
He's a Navy SEAL. So
Yeah.
unless this guy's got some serious military training.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If he's on beast mode,
Mhm.
I don't think he'll be able to hang with somebody that killed him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna get more into the Red Line. I think we want to kind of learn about him a little bit. I just read up on his bio a little bit today, but obviously another black character, right? Represent like an African nation, so I want to make sure I bring him out. So we got to know about it. We got villains too, man. We're very diverse people. We got heroes and we got some villains too, man.
Well, I noticed, but you kind of just sprung it on me.
Yeah.
And I really haven't heard too much about him. I don't even know. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some reading on him. But since you said he's a villain already,
yeah, that's how they build him. That's how he's being built. Yeah,
you had to bring this out. And you know what I like about you, man? You'll bring out a villain, at the last possible moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And then guess what I have to say?
Huh?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because now I'm like, okay, I don't know about him. I'm like, oh wow, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. No, he looks good, but you're right. Like the characters you associated him with were all villains. You're like, he looks like Sabretooth, and he does. So he's got that. Like he's no joke. But one more thing.
Got the other side.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got an interesting verses for it because I know we're both big into Predator, right?
Okay.
So I brought up, I know you've seen all the Predator movies like I have, and we got Dutch's crew right here, man. This was a pretty bad crew. This is a bad crew of dudes right here, okay?
Yeah.
But I want to put them up against the New Jacks, man, from the last Predator movie, man. Which crew do you believe have more skill, man?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna have to give it to Dutch and the crew.
Yeah, we gotta go with Dutch, man.
I gotta. And here's the reason for that.
Yeah.
These guys are true experienced commandos.
Yeah, as a unit.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
To me, the second Predator, it's like they just threw everybody in one pot.
It really was. It was a hodgepodge, dude. It was
right
a hodgepodge. Yeah.
You got a weak dude in there, man. That's he was a stealthy killer, man. He was a weak dude.
But you talking about? Oh yeah, the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor.
You had the doctor, yeah, and then you had the dude that just had a knife, right? The dude that got out of jail, yeah.
These guys, I'm like, okay. I mean, the only one I would say that would really do a good job, of course, was I think it was an Army Ranger guy,
Royce, right? The one Adrian Brody.
Yeah, Royce would do a good job.
Yeah.
But the brother didn't last too long.
Yeah, the brother got took out. He was an African rebel. So, all right, yeah, he was yeah. Well, okay, my man in the comments, the solar expert's like, nah, the new crew, man. He likes the new crew.
The new crew gonna get smashed. He can't do it.
The OG crew is insane, man. I mean, look, man.
Listen, you gotta do Jesse Bapati.
You know what I'm saying? We got two governors in this crew right here, man.
I'm just saying. Well, not only that, but Jesse, man, is a UDT. He's a SEAL.
Yeah.
He was trained as a UDT in real life.
Yeah.
There's no way it's happening.
Yeah.
No way.
I like the new crew, man. I like the Yakuza. He brought up the Yakuza dude, right, as well, like the samurai scene.
Oh man,
it was cold. Like it was cold, man. I gotta give it to him, man. I gotta give it.
The Indian man had it going on.
Yeah.
He could sense all what was going on. Yeah. He had a whole other level.
Oh, Billy was on a whole nother thing, man.
Yeah.
Billy was on a whole different level, man.
And he was willing to face, man, the Predator, man.
Billy wasn't going out like a punk, man. Billy was righteous with his.
He was willing to go out like with his sand.
Yeah.
And he went the new crew, man. No, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
The new crew ain't strong enough, man. If it was squad on squad to deal with that, Dutch would get him, man.
I mean, look. I'm thinking Dutch's crew, man. Them Colonial Marines seem like they might get smoked by Dutch's crew, man.
They would get smoked.
Yeah, them Colonial Marines get smoked by Dutch's crew.
Here's the thing, though. I believe that Dutch's crew would last longer with the aliens than them.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely, dude. Most definitely.
Right? I mean, the aliens, man, would decimate them. Yeah. They'll be gone.
Yeah.
They'll be gone. They'll be already, I'll wipe them out.
This is the crew with Blaine. This is Blaine, and I can't remember what Bill Duke's character was, man.
You got my boy Duke, man.
Yeah, we got my boy Bill Dukes right there, right? It's
That's
real,
old school
man.
right
That's
there.
old school right there. I love
That's
his
my
crew,
dude, man. That's my
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, I love his crew.
There's no way, man.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no way.
yeah. Well, I had to put them up on the screen, man. These are the two most prominent, Predator crews out there. Both of them represented. But yeah, ain't nobody holding it down like my man Dutch.
Well,
man.
I mean, look, dude, and then Jesse had the minigun.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
over, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. You got the minigun, man. Blaine with the minigun. Yeah.
People would be Swiss cheese, man. It's over.
Man. Oh, man.
Yeah, you see how Bill, man, he cut down the bushes, man. He cut down the trees with that thing.
Yeah, he was laying it down, man. Wasn't nobody messing with Blaine.
Right? Even the Predator had to get out of
there.
there.
Yeah, he had to run, man. He had to get up, man. Yeah, the Predator had to get up, man.
I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
But this, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts?
I mean, like I said, going into it, I was already like, man, nobody's gonna beat Dutch's crew, man.
No, it's not happening.
Dutch's crew, man.
So, it's not happening.
Yeah, anytime you got, like I said, you got too many just G's up in here with Billy, Blaine, Dutch himself, Bill Dukes, like the core of the crew. I mean, with Carl Weathers, you ain't even one of the baddest dudes in the crew. You Action Jackson, you wasn't even one of the baddest. You like second string on this crew, right? That's how deep the crew was. Whereas the new crew, man, I like Royce. The other dude had a minigun, the African dude, but everybody else wasn't really. I mean, like the lady, she seemed like she had some mercenary skills. She was a soldier.
Well, she's an Israeli sniper.
Yeah, she's an Israeli sniper. Yeah,
she was good with as long as she had that, but it was over with after that. Man.
After that,
It was done.
And my man Danny Trejo, man, like Danny Trejo, you represented so many movies, man. But I think that was outside your range.
Billy
right
would
there.
get him though, man.
Yeah, we'll match you up against Billy.
Billy would get him, man.
Yeah, that's real.
Billy would look down at him like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. Billy was gonna take his shirt off and knife up, man. Come get you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And he's a skilled knife fighter.
Yeah, very much.
There's no way that's happening.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm with you.
Okay, so we going with the old crew.
Yeah, we going with the old crew on this until someone dethrones them. Even like my man's like, I like the uniqueness of the new crew, and I did too. I like the new crew, right? But I'm just saying, against the OGs, they would teach them a little stuff. They probably get off this. If they knew what was going on, they'd get off this planet, man.
Well, here's the thing though. When you're able, man, okay, like that Predator from the old crew, was better than the Predators of the new crew.
Oh yeah, he was. He was far more skilled.
He was better.
Yeah, he was.
Right? Mm-hmm. He was able to take out the best of the best, man, pretty much by himself.
Yeah, that's right, man. He went. Yeah, he got my man Blaine first, and he had to deal with my man Bill Dukes, man. It was, and they was coming for him, man. You took on Billy, man. Smoke Carl Weathers, man. Yeah, he took them all on, man.
Well, you got somebody, man. Kevin Peter Hall played the Predator, man.
Yeah.
He played the Predator.
Yeah, that's right.
6'2".
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Man, just stand up to somebody like that.
Yeah, you can't do it, man.
Man. You see what he did, man, when he picked up Arnold Man and threw him against the tree?
He's like, you ain't nothing, man.
Right hand, got him dangling by his feet. No, that's not happening. With one arm? No, man, that's not happening.
Yeah, all right. Well, I had to get us out on some good verses, man, because we touched on some real powerful stuff today. Thank you again for that lesson, but I had to take you out on some very powerful verses. I knew this was going to get you riled up, man.
Well, you really got me going in that one. They're my boys, right?
Yeah, right there. Most definitely, man. Most definitely. That's definitely.
Okay, so I'm sorry. The new crew, I do like them, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, let them old schools get back in there, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, we might let Royce join. He let Royce join, but yeah. Even my man Lawrence Fishburne did y'all dirty, man.
Man, that was ugly, man.
That was
Wow,
that was really cold, man. He was way out there. Bro, had been out there too long, man.
Yeah, he was PSD, man.
Yeah, he's been out there too deep, man. So
man, he was over in the corner talking to himself.
Yeah, answering himself, correcting himself.
Really crazy,
yeah, he did a great job. He was really out there. So.
Right, and then he ended up dying at the end anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean,
it was messed up all the way around.
He killed a couple, but still, I mean, they talked about these different Predator clans, right? You even had it in the Mengi out there.
I saw that. I pointed out to my friend the other day. I'm like, look at this. That's what that is. When they
That's
shot
an
it,
Amengi,
yeah,
man.
that's what I did. Yeah, I broke that one
Okay,
out. Yeah,
but could you hang with the old crew though?
yeah.
That's out there,
Ooh-wee.
man. I mean, we're
Yeah,
talking they're out there, man, duking it out with this thing.
yeah,
And then Dutch can stand up to him,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then fight this predator head on.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's
See,
just
which let me just say, my man Danny Glover did it with no help, man. That's all I'm gonna say
well,
is my
Danny,
man
okay,
Danny Glover did it with no help.
now, I'm not gonna. Let me just say this, man. See, you already know what I'm gonna say. You already know. See, okay, okay. I'm saying that predator, man. How you take out a whole train load full of people, man, to get beat by one person?
Yeah,
Man,
by one person, dude. Hey, man, that's Murtaugh, man.
that's
That's Murtaugh, though, man.
I say, who wrote this script?
Yeah,
Who did
I
it?
think Danny Glover wrote it.
He did when it's yo. It was
He was
terrible.
like, I got this on my own, man. So.
Man, this thing is cutting people in half, man.
Yeah.
He got a whole squad of people, and he got beat by one
By
person.
one dude, one bad dude, man. That's Murtaugh,
Right.
man. Before Riggs even came around.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just, so okay.
Yeah.
I had to give it to him, but script wise, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
That wasn't gonna happen like that, man.
Especially in the meat locker, man.
Yeah.
You'd have destroyed him then.
Oh yeah, that was a cold scene, though, man.
That was a cold scene, right? I'm just saying.
Oh,
So
man.
why you do this to me, man?
Because I know, I knew I have fun too, man.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do it to me, man. But yeah, this is a good matchup.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, well, thank you again, everybody in the comments for stopping in. We had a lot of fun. We stopped on some really good stuff. CBT, any thoughts on the way out the door? Any previews of next week?
Yeah, I want to get into the instruction of the SIBA yacht, into understanding what SIBA is. I have to understand the teaching and the schooling that people went to back in ancient Kemet.
Okay. We're looking forward to it. As always, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, drop in the comments. We check them throughout the week. But CBT, man, I'll be speaking to you again soon, my brother. As always, it's been good.
All right.